What is happening, everyone? Welcome to G-Ball Vision. Today we're taking a deep dive into the Willumsen Chibs. Now, there is going to be a plethora of different versions that you can get of the Chibs. This one specifically is coming with a stone-washed D2 drop point blade. You have a nice swedge going to the tip that is going to add some extra strength out there. You have this nice long up sweep to the tip there. Big cutout and rear flipper tab for your deployment options. Detent is pretty good, but it's kind of, I don't know, it needs broken in, I think, more so than anything else. You are getting D2 steel on this guy, so you're not really getting a premium steel when it comes to this exact model. They do offer some of the various Chibs in 14C, and I believe they even have other ones in higher end steels. But this is kind of an odd mixture. You have the D2 steel, right? But then you have carbon fiber for your secondary handle material, and for your actual frame and your lock, you are getting this diamond textured titanium. So it's kind of an odd combination. I've seen Tucson do this before, and maybe another company where they'll give like D2 and then do a titanium frame lock or carbon fiber, and then you can get them at a fairly reasonable price. This one is not the best price for the steel you're getting. I would have much rather seen this in 14C 28N. But all things considered, it is stonewashed, and if done properly, the D2 will be just fine. Now, there was a few little issues going on with the knife. We had some hardware that seemed to be treated a little softer, and the customer service was contacted, and we've given them probably at this point about 2 weeks, and I believe 2 emails from Jamie trying to inquire about the knife. So, and no response. So to me, something is odd there, and I believe he tried at least one, if not 2 different ways of contacting them. I believe emailed directly through their website with no response. So kind of a little odd, if you ask me. They haven't responded. So customer service with Willumsen might be non-existent if you end up getting one of these and having an issue. I just wanted to put that out there. Customer service is a huge deal, especially when it comes to retail items, especially knives that cost, upwards of $100, $200, $300 and more. Customer service is a huge deal because there's always going to be, an issue here or there. So the customer service doesn't seem to be the greatest, at least as of right now. But let's get back into some specs here. We're looking at about 3.5 inches of blade overall, and then we're looking about 3 3/16 of cutting edge, and then we're coming down here around 8.5 inches of total knife there. So let's see what we got for a weight. We are a little heavy here. I bet 5 ounces. Yeah, 5.1, 5.2. So it is a heftier bugger. Let's go ahead and throw it up against a couple of different knives. And I can tell you guys, this is not my knife, and the experience that I've had with the knife is it seems to be pretty well done. There are a few things I would like to see changed on this knife. I'd like to see the logoing here, the branding. I'd like to see that gone. I think getting rid of this lanyard hole here, I think that should be gone. And I think that should be incorporated into the geared backspacer down here somewhere. Just have, your standard loop back in here. And then I believe the pocket clip should be, the pocket clip is okay over here. At least it's not over the gap here that you have with your lock bar, but you are over the relief cut. So that could prove to be an issue for some. And I think an upgrade in steel, especially at the price point, I believe these are like at least around 140 or so, and you can get a lot of fantastic knives that are in titanium and 14C for right around that price point. So I think they have a little bit of a ways to go when it comes to competing with some of these other companies like KUBEY and Miguron. They just have some work to do. KUBEY OEMs some fantastic knives at the like 120 to 140 mark, and you're getting a very, very good steel in 14C 28N and titanium pocket clip, backspacer. So you can see here, this is a fairly substantial knife here. We'll go ahead and throw it up against the PM2, and that and the Ritter are going to be very fair comparisons of this guy. Let's go ahead and we'll check some blade stock and behind the edge here. So we'll go right up here to the very tippy top. And let's see what we got. About 150 thousandths is probably a good guess. So it is a little thicker of a blade stock. Let's see. We'll just pick a random spot here. And we're looking like fairly, I mean, not real thick behind the edge, but fairly thick. Somewhere in the ballpark of 16 or 17 thousandths. In that particular spot, it could thicken or thin towards the tip. Let's see. So we're looking at, it thins up going to the tip there, about 12 thousandths. So it goes from 12-ish thousandths back to like 17, 18 thousandths here. So not real thick, but not real thin either. The 12 thousandths isn't bad at all. So let's go ahead and move into the aesthetic. I think it's a great looking knife. Like I said, I think there's a few tweaks. I think if you got, and I like flippers, but I think if you got rid of the flipper tab, incorporated a 50-50 area here, and knocked that lanyard hole off back here, you would have yourself an even better looking knife. And then you add that with getting rid of the branding on the blade. That is a smoking looking design right there. Minus the lanyard hole, minus the flipper, and then get rid of the branding. You have a solid looking knife. Very neutral in its ergonomics. I mean, as it sits, I think it's a good looking knife. The ergonomics is not bad. I wouldn't mind being able to get up into this area a little bit more. That does act as a guard, and because of the way this is designed here, you can get like the fingertip or so right there. I wouldn't want to go much more because then you'll be right there on the corner of the blade. But this is a good grip for, a lighter task in cutting. And depending on your hand size here, you will be able to get close up on that tip. And it is a little bit lower than the pivot. So you have a fairly low tip here, and it won't be too bad if you have some sort of detail work to do. This is an easy knife to control, even though it is a little heavier. The balance point was right there behind the pivot. So not bad, pretty much right where you want it there. It's not unwieldy, even as big as it is, coming in close to 8.5 inches. It feels good in hand, and I think it's a good size. I think it's a good design. I think they have a couple of things to work on. And I think they have some customer service that needs to be taken care of as well. I'm not sure, what the deal is over there. Maybe there's not a lot of people working there. Could be just a very small run company. But even then, even if it was small, a very small run, there would have to be someone designated to taking care of the customers. When you create a product and you sell a product, you have to have that on the back end. You have to have customer service. It is imperative to have customer service. And I think it's imperative to have good customer service. Unless you're Spyderco, where people are going to buy them anyway, and there's a massive aftermarket for the knives that Spyderco has. Spyderco's customer service, from everything that I know of, is complete dog shit. Very, very horrible customer service. I don't remember ever hearing anything good about their customer service. Only bad. But they can kind of get away with that because they're Spyderco. Willumsen cannot get away with that, and they shouldn't be trying to, and neither should Spyderco. You should have good customer service when you are creating and selling products to the public, and they're spending the money they work for on these products. You should have some damn good customer service, in my opinion. But minus a few tweaks, would I buy this knife as it sits? Probably not. I probably won't buy it, especially if we're talking 140, 150. So I just did a quick scan. They're coming in right around 130. I don't. It's beautiful carbon fiber, guys, and very nice titanium as well. Very good stuff. Very nicely finished. But the D2 kind of kills it for me. It's almost like what Boker does. They have some awesome looking designs that I won't mind picking up, but you're charging me $100+ for D2 when you could easily insert 14C, 154, S30V. I mean, there's a plethora of other steels that would be affordable. Yeah, it might add a few dollars to the cost, but I would much rather pay $130 for this knife in 14C or something like that than pay $130 for D2. Now, if you really liked Michael Willumsen or Mikkel Willumsen, he's the designer and the person that runs Willumsen. I believe it's called Willumsen Copenhagen, and that's the name of the place. If you really like him and you really like this design, then I could see it. I'm sure the D2 is treated fairly well, and it's got a nice finish, a nice usable blade. It's a good size. We have good solid materials back here. But for my money, they have a few more affordable options. They have some that come in like right around between $70 and $90. And although they are coming in like a G10, it is a textured G10. It's also a liner lock, so going to be much easier to open and close. But on top of all that, it's coming in 14C 28N. So they have a model for about $90 that comes in G10. It's got a satin finish blade. It comes in 14C 28N. It's the same size, but it's about $30 to $40 cheaper, and I'm getting a better steel. I'll take the textured G10 liner lock in 14C before I'll take carbon fiber titanium in D2 at 140. So those are just my thoughts and my conclusions. Some people love D2 and are looking for that premium handle that comes with D2, then this is your game right here. This is, a good spot to be in. I think once this gets broken in a little bit after some opening and closing, I think this would be a decent knife. I do think the lock bar could be a little more comfortable to open and you know, or unlock, disengage this guy. It's a little thin here, but for the most part, I think it's a good knife and a good design. Let me know what you think down in the comments, guys. I love hearing from you guys. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button before you head out. And if you're new to the channel or you've been here before and you're still not subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below the video. I'm going to throw up a couple new videos here, here, and here. Go check one of them out, guys, and I will catch you on the next one.